Hello everyone. Welcome to my YNR 24 spoilers. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The unsettling news from Sharon and Nick, Claire's getaway disturbance. According to Wednesday, October 15th spoilers for The Young and the Restless. Claire Newman is stymied, and Nick and Sharon Newman receive a startling medical update on their son, Noah Newman. Claire is attempting to put her GC past behind her while she is in Los Angeles with Holden Novak. This includes Kyle Abbott and Audra Charles, who have become too close for her comfort. The fact that Kyle intends to surprise Claire on her holiday and that his son Harrison Abbott has a nightmare could both portend something negative. Claire is unable to leave Kyle. With the support of Nate Hastings, Claire's mother, Victoria Newman, is able to express her emotions and thoughts. Victoria may be quite concerned about her adult daughter because she and Claire have only recently been together. In this episode, Nate listens patiently as Victoria vents to him about Claire, Kyle, and Holden. Can he be an objective observer given his own history with Holden? In LA, everyone meets. Despite her displeasure, Victoria chooses to follow Kyle's lead and travel to Los Angeles to see how Claire is doing. Additionally, another Newman family branch is coincidentally located in LA. After Sharon informs Nick that their son was involved in an accident and is in the hospital, Nick is able to board his private aircraft and quickly descend. What comes next in Wisconsin's Genoa City? Being thousands of miles away from home makes things more difficult for Nick and Sharon, who are going through a parent's worst nightmare. An update regarding Noah is provided to Sharon and Nick, but it might raise more questions than it does answers. Following the crash, he is in poor health and is inconsolable. Another brand new, expansive YNR mystery spanning numerous locales and personalities is triggered by Noah's reappearance. We hope it's better than the long return of Citizen Kane narrative, as do millions of irate fans. In LA, nothing is as it seems, and Nick is committed to uncovering the entire story over the course of the week. Unexpected information, rekindled emotions, and derailed plans. Some significant events in Genoa City are hinted at in The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, October 15th. Plans are derailed for one character. 2 ex-partners rekindle their love, and 2 parents receive shocking news. What can we expect from Wednesday's performance? It's time to find out. The startling news regarding Sharon and Nick Newman. According to Wednesday, October 15th spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Nick and Sharon Newman will receive some startling news. It appears that they will be informed about the developments leading up to Noah Newman's vehicle accident. There will be a lot more questions than answers, though. By the end of the week, Nick is expected to conduct some research, so Noah's predicament will remain a mystery. Will he be all right, though? Victoria Newman and Nate Hastings reconnect. Victoria Newman will be comforted by Nate Hastings across town. Will emotions overcome the two? Additional hints suggest that they might relive some feelings. Would they be able to kiss each other? To discover out, fans will need to tune in. Read more. Spoilers for The Young and the Restless. Was Mitch, the mysterious man behind Noah's car crash, ordered a hit by Sienna's lover? The plan of Claire Newman was derailed. Finally, according to Wednesday's teasers for The Young and the Restless, Claire Newman's scheme will fail. Holden Novak invited her to hang out, but only as friends. So Claire was hoping to take advantage of the opportunity to experience the single life in Los Angeles with a brief getaway. Before leaving for LA, Claire broke up with Kyle Abbott, but Kyle has a brilliant plan to see Claire there and win her back. Will he locate his girlfriend? Will he improve or worsen the situation? Naturally, given how dangerous Holden seems to be, may Claire end up in a precarious situation? Hopefully, the only thing that derails Claire's Los Angeles is her egotistical ex-boyfriend is adventure. Claire is shocked by Kyle, while Nick and Sharon experience their worst fear. The Young and the Restless, Wednesday, October 15th, 2025, episode went as follows. The Young and the Restless events. Noah's injuries are seen by Nick and Sharon on The Young and the Restless. Claire had a drink on the roof of a business in Los Angeles, but her morning soon turned sour. She was shocked when Kyle shouted her name and gave her a bouquet out of the blue. He told her it was a surprise when she questioned what he was doing there. She questioned whether there was a problem back in Genoa City because she couldn't believe what was happening. Why Kyle had flown across the nation to deliver her flowers was beyond Claire's comprehension. She acknowledged that it was considerate, but she wondered how he found her. She didn't believe him when he tried to use her social media pictures as a guide. In the end, Kyle admitted that he asked Claire not to be offended after Victoria told him where she was staying. Playing the Harrison card, Kyle informed her of Harrison's nightmare and how much he missed her. Kyle was able to delve deeper and elaborate on the nightmare since Claire was concerned. Claire hoped Harrison wouldn't assume she had left to avoid him after Kyle had given him all the information. Claire became agitated when Kyle brought up their relationship. He said, "I feel like I drove you to make this mistake to come to LA with Holden." She didn't want to argue, so she informed Kyle that he shouldn't have come. She attacked him and said, "I don't want to argue, and I don't want to listen to you criticize my decisions. I'm not here because of you. I made it very clear before I left why I was doing this, why I needed to take this trip. I need some space, and I need you to understand that, and I need you to respect it." Kyle noted that Claire appeared to have had a late night out, but he didn't listen to anything she had to say. The best way to win her back, she said, was not to tell her that she looked terrible. When he inquired about her well-being, she not only assured him that she was all right, but she also boasted about how wonderful her night had been. She claimed to have plans and intended to do it alone, despite Kyle's attempts to sabotage them. She adored Los Angeles. Kyle requested to spend time with Claire because he enjoyed their company. Her plans remained the same, and she reminded him that Holden was her tour guide. Kyle brought it back to Holden, who questioned why Holden was involved and he was not. She reiterated, "I need to be on this journey for myself, whether you like it or not. You can't be a part of it." Holden welcomed Kyle and started off politely, but Kyle had other ideas. "You interrupted a private conversation, so why don't you find some other traffic you can get caught up in?" he yelled at Holden. Claire abruptly ended the conversation and asked Kyle to go. Claire begged Holden for additional time to talk to Kyle, which shocked him. She wanted to hear more from Kyle, so she gave him the floor. She felt condescending when he mentioned her quest for self-awareness. He told Claire that he hoped she would accompany him on that excursion rather than someone like Holden, and he assured her it wasn't like that. Kyle criticized Claire for defending Holden, pointing out that it was strange that she ended their relationship while hanging out with Holden. Claire tried repeatedly to explain her intentions to Kyle, but he never understood. Every time he brought it back to Holden, but now she requested to be apart from him. Despite all of Kyle's shenanigans, she made an effort to be as kind as she possibly could, yet she still alluded to their potential future together. Kyle wanted to fight for their relationship, but he also wanted to give her space. He stated, "Claire, I know following you here was crazy, but I'm crazy about you. The love I have for you has me completely off balance, and I want to give you the space and freedom that you need. But I also want to fight for us and what I know we can be. Part of me is terrified that if I let you go, you'll think the love I have for you is gone when it never could be." Though she didn't want to dwell on the past, Claire acknowledged that she knew Kyle loved her. For once, she wanted to enjoy the present. She agreed that she missed him, held his hand, and planned to go to Chancellor Park when she returned to town. He promised not to bother her again while he was in town, but he did tell her that he would be there for a few days. After Kyle left, Holden confided in Claire that he thought he was genuinely in love with her. Additionally, he offered her the option to end the trip if she so desired, but she put her arm around his, hinting at more to come. At Crimson Lights, Victoria ran into Nate and invited him to join her. He asked her what had happened after noticing that she was upset, and she told him about Noah's accident. She did not have any updates on Nick's condition, but she did confirm that he had arrived in Los Angeles a few hours earlier. Victoria talked about Noah's intentions to expand his business activities in Los Angeles, while Nate asked why Noah had been there at all. Victoria said the injuries seemed grave, but Nate hoped they weren't too bad, recalled Faith's prior accident and Cassie's death, saying that her brother and Sharon had endured too much. Victoria expressed regret for consuming too much of Nate's time, but he reassured her that he was working on a personal project that had nothing to do with his job. He and Amy had already talked about his desire to donate to a worthy cause in Damien's memory. Victoria questioned whether Nate had followed his own counsel and spoken to his departed brother, given that he was a positive influence following Cole's passing. It seemed like a decent plan, and Nate was sure Damien would have approved. Although she hadn't discussed anything with Cole yet, Victoria wanted to do something similar for him. In addition, Victoria stated that she would like to have Claire at home with her rather than in Los Angeles with Holden. Nate expressed regret for Victoria's disclosure of Claire's split from Kyle, but he hoped they could reconcile. Victoria understood that Kyle was also struggling with his infidelity with Audra in France. He insisted it was okay, but she regretted bringing it up. Nate informed Victoria that there was no hope for a future with Audra and that she no longer held his heart. He still thought Kyle and Claire might resolve their differences, though. Victoria believed that Claire was lost because of her father's untimely death as well as the Kyle issues. Victoria claimed that her issue wasn't with Claire going to Los Angeles, but rather with Holden Novak, who she was dating there. Nate also expressed his lack of trust in Holden to Victoria. He wasn't a fan because he pretended to be Damien when he first met Holden. Nate concurred with anyone who suggested Claire might have issues with Holden. Victoria said that she shouldn't have told Kyle that Claire wasn't in the right frame of mind to manage anything. Questioned why Nick hadn't provided her with any updates regarding Noah. Claire had never met Noah before, despite being in Los Angeles as well, but she was well versed in her cousin. The two remained close, which suggested that their romance would one day be revived. When Nick arrived at the hospital, a weary Sharon broke down upon seeing him. It reminded her of Cassie's premature death 20 years before. Nick blamed weather-related delays for his tardiness, which startled Sharon. Nick arrived too late to get an update on Noah, who was undergoing surgery. The crash caused multiple injuries to his face and skull. Nick was incredulous. Because she slept through Nick's calls, Sharon became alarmed. She claimed that everything happened too fast, but the hospital staff informed her that the prognosis wasn't good. Nick committed to waiting there with him until they learned more. The number of times they had experienced this made it impossible for Sharon to remain composed. As she faced with this, she couldn't help but think of Cassie. Even before she got to town, Sharon sensed something was wrong. The highway patrol called to inform her about the collision, but she tried to convince herself that she was exaggerating. Noah landed in a ravine after swerving on the freeway. Nick questioned whether she was aware of the full nature of his injuries and whether there was another person in the vehicle. She attested that he was by himself when the accident occurred. After entering the room, a nurse informed Sharon that Noah was recovering after surgery. The nurse left without providing any information when she asked for an update on Noah's status. While waiting for word that Noah might survive, Sharon sobbed and begged Nick to come back. Fortunately for Sharon, Nick came back soon, and she informed him that Noah was no longer undergoing surgery. The accident and its strange build-up didn't feel right. Nick thought Noah seemed anxious, and Sharon thought he was a bit frantic. Nick was upset that Victor had postponed his vacation, but Sharon advised him not to worry about uncontrollable circumstances. When Nick and Sharon eventually got to see Noah, the situation appeared even more serious. Noah had a tube down his mouth and was wrapped in bandages. Sharon and Nick get some startling news. According to Wednesday, October 15th, 2025, spoilers for The Young and the Restless. Claire's plot to flee reality is derailed. Nate consoles Victoria, and Nick and Sharon receive shocking news. The Young and the Restless next episodes. Sharon Case and Joshua Morrow on The Young and the Restless. When Sharon told Nick that their son, Noah, had been involved in a vehicle accident earlier this week, Nick hurried to Los Angeles to be with her. In a fit of hysteria, Sharon called Nick to inform him that history was being repeated since their daughter, Cassie, had died in an accident. Watch for Nick and Sharon to get some startling news on Wednesday's show. Will medical professionals let the couple know that their son's condition has gotten worse? Or will there be a favorable prognosis? After all, good news can often be unexpected. You have a companion. On The Young and the Restless, Amelia plays Victoria and Sean Dominic plays Nate. Victoria has been dealing with a lot. She continues to grieve over Cole, the father of their daughter Claire, and she is attempting to provide Claire with the space she requires to discover who she is after Claire's breakup with Kyle. Vicky is conflicted between upholding her daughter's trust and acting morally because she thinks Kyle still loves Claire. Watch for Vicky to receive some much-needed encouragement from Nate on Wednesday's episode. A fleeting romance between the two never really took off. Maybe Vicky and Nate's friendship will develop into something more now that Vicky is single and Nate is no longer with Audra? Los Angeles is where I'm lost. On The Young and the Restless, Claire might not find what she's searching for in Los Angeles. Since Claire had never been to Los Angeles, she felt it would be a great idea to check it out. However, keep an eye out for Claire's plot to fail on Wednesday's show. A lot of people visit LA searching for anything, but eventually they come to the conclusion that looking inward is preferable to staring into the dazzling lights of Hollywood. If Claire needs assistance, will she contact Nick and Sharon? They have a lot on their plate with Noah, but they will also be in sunny Southern California. Claire might have to depend on her friend, Holden, to get her out of any sticky situations.